Hello, survivors. Welcome to Qigong for those of us with aortic dissections and aneurysms. Big shout out to Aortic Hope TV. Thank you so much, Josh and Karen, and everybody else for all you do in spreading the word that living with aortic dissection doesn't have to be droll and boring. It can be exciting. So we're going to move a little bit of chi today, work on our shoulders. Last week, we started off talking about shoulder pain. And it's so common for us survivors to deal with shoulder pain because we sit in our chair, our recliner. Post-surgery recovery can be so long, as you know. We've got to move our arms, keep our shoulders flexible. And sitting in the recliner just ends up bad. So we talked about a couple of good Qigong exercises last week. The spinal cord breathing, which we'll go over, and the rooster spreads its wings. We talked about the deltoid muscles, the outer three muscles that kind of give our shoulder the motion capability, lifting and moving. And today we're going to talk about the four internal muscles that, in combination with tendons and the fascia, hold our humerus in place. Do you know what a humerus is? Boney is going to show us his humerus, his or hers. I think it's a his because the hips are so narrow. The humerus is this bone, upper arm bone right here. And it's an amazing bone. The upper arm just has one bone, unlike the lower arm has two bones, the radius and the tibia. But the humerus attaches to the scapula in a little concave socket called the glenoid fossa, which we don't need to remember. However, the interesting thing about the arm, the shoulder, and the humerus is the flexibility. There's more flexibility in our shoulder and arm than any other joint in the body. So totally amazing. However, with that flexibility comes some challenges too, because there's not a whole lot holding that humerus, the ball of the humerus, in place in the scapular socket, the glenoid socket. So we've got to keep strong muscles in this area of our shoulder to prevent that rotator cuff pain and shoulder arthritis and shoulder bursitis. So there's a couple of really good Qigong flows that we talked about last week that strengthen the deltoids. The deltoids, you have your anterior deltoid, the front delt, you have the middle delt for raising your arm, and you have the posterior delt for moving the arm and lifting the arm in the back here. The posterior delt attaches from the humerus to the scapula. We talked about spinal cord breathing last week, which is, let's sit in our chair, feet shoulder width apart. And before we begin, we'll sink our breath into our belly. Belly breathing, we've talked about many times before. Inhale, our belly expands, our sides expand, our back expands. Exhale, our belly contracts back towards the spine. Inhale, let's take 3 belly breaths, survivors. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Now, I find that the spinal cord breathing is a great Qigong flow for strengthening the delts, that outside layer of muscles. If I can show you my muscle man here, the delts are this upper layer, those 3 muscles right there that really give the power to the arm to lift and move. So spinal cord breathing, feet on the ground, connecting our chi to the earth, chin tucked in, loosen our joints, put a smile on her face, sink that breath down into the belly. We are going to make very loose fists like we're holding tiny baby birds. This is what my Qigong instructor has taught me. We don't want our fists too tight because that would block the Qi flow. There's so many channels that end in the tips of our fingers and begin in the tips of our fingers. So holding baby birds, begin to stretch back, excuse me, Boney, on the inhale, stretch back. On the exhale, we bring our elbows together, keep our back relatively straight, tuck our chin in. Inhale. %70 stretch. Don't push past too much tension. Exhale. Bring our elbows together. Get the flow going here. You can feel that chi energy flow up your spine into your shoulders. You can feel all three of the deltoids begin to stretch. This is such a great weekly exercise, daily exercise to do, survivors, as we're sitting in our recliner. Opens the lung channel, opens all of the channels, the large intestine channel in our shoulders. Inhale back, exhale, engage, come forward, tuck that chin in. Inhale back, last time. Bring our fists together, tuck the chin in, engage. Hands down on your knees. Survivors, spinal cord breathing is so good for all three of the deltoid muscles because you have that wide range of motion. Now, the second Qigong flow that we talked about last week was rooster spreads its wings. And this is a fun Qigong flow, I think. So we're going to make crane's beaks with our hands. This mudra brings all 5 fingertips together and place those fingertips on lung 1, acupuncture point lung 1, which is right below our clavicle, right here. So we'll place those crane's beak fingertips right there and slowly begin to spiral our elbows, just like a rooster or a chicken would spread its wings. Really, I think the chickens would probably, not sure which direction. Both directions are great. We're going to start by moving our elbows up and back. Let's do this 9 times. I like to do sequences of 3 in the Qigong flows. You might hear your shoulders pop or crack. There's going to be air bubbles releasing. Don't push too hard. Keep it under the tension threshold. 9. Let's change directions. Rooster spreads its wings. I like this movement, this Qigong flow, because I can feel really working that middle deltoid, the lifting of the arm. Stretching all 3, though. Another great exercise to do while you're sitting in your chair, watching TV, listening to the radio, waiting for supper to be ready, taking a snooze before you take your nap. Change directions again. Gentle. Rooster spreads its wings. You can cackle like a hen while you're doing it if you like, or crow like a rooster. Rooster spreads its wings. Okay, survivors, those are two really important exercises that if you do them every day, you can really help stabilize this humerus connection to the glenoid fossa. Those muscles will just hold that humerus bone in place. One of the worst causes of shoulder pain is when our muscles become stagnant and untoned. And what happens is instead of the muscles holding the bones in place here at this very critical joint, the bones begin to rub against each other and the cartilage can wear out. So working with the Qigong flows of rooster spreads its wings and spinal cord breathing, those two exercises are extremely important, as we discussed last week, in stabilizing the shoulders from the three exterior muscle perspective, the deltoids. Let's talk about the four interior muscles now that hold the humerus to the scapular socket, the glenoid fossa. And those four muscles are the subscapularis, which is on the back, which runs from the scapula to the humerus. And then you have two front muscles inside rotator cuff muscles, the supraspinatus and the infraspinatus, supra up top, infra below, and you have the teres minor underneath. So you have four interior muscles that, along with the tendons, basically hold this humerus in place, this upper arm bone in place. And those four muscles are very important. A lot of our shoulder pain that I see is a result of just non-use of those four muscles along with the deltoids. And that is so easy that's such an easy place to find ourselves in. As survivors, our doctors tell us, don't lift anything over 2 pounds. That's what I got, first of all. But then 10 pounds or 5 pounds, everybody's different. So our tendency after post-surgery is to just sit, read a book, remote control. We're going to change that for you, survivors. I promise you that if you work with this on a consistent basis, that your pain will eventually diminish, if not go away. And I know personally, because I was to the point where only way I could throw a football, I've told you this story before, worth repeating, is just underhand to my son. Today I can do pull-ups. It didn't happen overnight. I've been working with my dissection for 14 years now. So it's just baby steps and consistency, but it works. Do the spinal cord breathing, rooster spreads its wings for the delts. And now we're going to look at 4 or 5 different Qigong movements where we can strengthen that inner layer, those 4 inner muscles that surround the rotator cuff. Really, they do help our arm move, but their most important function is to stabilize that joint. And if we can strengthen those muscles, those 4 muscles, the subcapularis, the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, and the teres minor, then we're going to be able to hold our humerus in the location that we need it to be to minimize any type of pain or inflammation. So let's look at some of those exercises. Sarasota is so beautiful today, not a cloud in the sky. Yesterday I was out at the beach and the weather was a little bit nippy, windy, in the 60s. Today it's every bit of upper 70s and absolutely beautiful. I'll probably go out to the beach today. I love North Lido Beach and do some Qigong on the beach. Love doing Qigong on the beach, especially at sunset because it's so absolutely beautiful. And with the beach, there's so much Qigong there already naturally. You have fire, you have water, you have earth, most of the elements, the five elements in traditional Chinese medicine. So the fire and water are always interacting, that sun, the moon, and the ocean, the way the horizon is, the beautiful light, absolutely wonderful place. So what I've learned, one of my favorite Qigong flows for the beach is called Sunsets Over the Ocean. Other names are Moon Over the Lake, but the basic principle is the same. We're going to sit with our feet shoulder width apart, soles of our feet firmly planted on the ground, bring our hands up, turn them down to face the earth. Feel that connection between the palm of our hand, Lao Gong, pericardium 8 on the bottom of on the center of our palm. Feel that connection to the earth energy. And we're going to move across the horizon, survivors. Move your arms up in the sky as the sun rises across the sky during the day. Slowly bring our arms back down in front of our middle dantian, back across the horizon, just like at night. Sun rises, sun goes across the sky, sun sets. Come across the horizon. Moon rises, moon goes across the sky, travels with the stars. Moon sets. Travel across the horizon. Sun rises, a new day. Sun sets. Survivors, this flow right here is extremely good for all 7 shoulder muscles, the delts, the capillaris, the spinatus, and the teres minor. You're working all 7 of your muscles with this flow. Very easy, very gentle flow. And I love the flow. I love the spiritual aspect of this flow. It actually transports me out to the beach. I like doing it outside because I can feel the sun on my skin. A wonderful dance with nature. All the while, we are tonifying the chi flow in our shoulders, strengthening those muscles and the fascia. Let's change directions. Travel across the horizon. Sun rises, survivors. Feel the chi flow in your back with this flow. Moon rises, survivors. Moon sets. Moon across the water. Moon rises. Moon sets. Moon across the water. One more time. Feel those shoulder muscles working. This looks so easy, but looks can be deceiving. Very good, gentle workout. Never go past tension, past 70%. Come back to center, survivors. Hands on your knees. Close your eyes, take a deep belly breath, and feel the chi flow through your arms. Notice how your shoulders feel. This next flow I like, it's more yang than yin. It's called punching with focused eyes. Again, we're do this flow from our chair. Feet planted firmly on the floor. We'll lift our palms up, Make fists and draw them in by our side. Take a big belly breath. Inhale. Exhale, right arm punches out. Inhale, right arm comes back in. Exhale, left arm slowly punches out, focusing on that target. Inhale, left arm comes back in. This flow, survivors, is called punching with focused eyes and is very good for all four of those interior rotator cuff muscles. The forward motion, the pulling back in. You can create your own resistance. Exhale out. Inhale, back in. Exhale, engage. Such a good exercise to keep our arms, our shoulders, and our upper back in motion. Come back, both fists by the side. Put your palms on your knees and take a deep belly breath. The next flow we'll do is a hybrid of what I call parting the clouds. We've done this flow before, and I like to think of this exercise as both spiritual and physical. To start, we'll lift our palms up towards the heavens. On the inhale, slowly press our arms forward, twist our palms like we're moving the clouds out of the way. Bring our arms back right just before tension. Pull our palms back in, palms facing each other. Push out again on the exhale. Part the clouds. Inhale, palms come together towards center. Exhale, push out through the clouds, parting the clouds. Great twisting motion in the upper arm and the shoulders, working those all 7 shoulder muscles. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, part the clouds. I like to use this flow whenever I have a question that I want to answer and I can't figure out the answer to. My vision is cloudy, and what I'm doing is parting the clouds. So many fun and useful Qigong flow, survivors, that we can do sitting in our chairs. Of course, all of these flows can be done standing up. Last time, part the clouds. See the way clearly to good health. Palms back on the knees. Let's take another big belly breath. Just relax, survivors. Feel that chi flow through your shoulders and your body. The last exercise, Qigong flow, that I want to do today, we've done before also, and it's just moving chi in different directions. The name of the flow that I originally learned is 6 directions of chi flow. However, there's so many different ways that we can hybridize this flow and move chi. So we're going to move chi up and down, expand and contract, in and out. We'll start by palms facing the heavens in front of us. Take a deep belly breath, and let's let the chi rise up towards the sky. above our head. Rotate our wrists, and now chi falls. Rotate our wrists. Push the chi towards the sky. Again, rotate our wrists, chi falls. We can interlace our fingers. Chi rises. Chi falls. Working that middle deltoid and stretching all the others. Chi rises. Chi falls. Let's work the posterior deltoid. Chi flows out. Chi flows in. Chi flows out. Chi flows in. I love to play with the transitions in these flows. It can almost be like a dance. Chi flows in. Exhale, chi flows out. Inhale, chi flows in. We've moved our shoulders quite a bit today, survivors. Can you feel it yet? Can you feel that chi flow in your upper arms and your shoulders? It really does help with the large intestine. That large intestine channel runs right through our shoulders. We talked about the relationship between the shoulders and digestive pain. Remember, one of the first places that you feel gallbladder pain is in your shoulders. Chi flows out. Chi flows in. Let's expand the chi, survivors. Work that middle delt again. Chi flows in. Exhale, chi flows out. Chi flows in. Chi flows out. Chi flows in. The beauty of this moving chi flow is you can choose any direction, whichever feels right for your body. Chi flows up. Chi flows down. Never gets boring. Chi flows out. Chi flows in. Chi expands. Chi contracts. Hands to your knees. All right, survivors, next week we're going to talk about hip, knee, and ankles. The knee pain is another big issue besides shoulder pain that we as survivors deal with on a constant basis. And I want to show you 3 exercises you can be playing with, toying with a little bit, that can help. The important aspect to remember about knee pain: knees are one of the most interesting joints in the body. All joints are interesting in the body, but knees are especially impacted by our ankles and our hips. So to have good, strong knees, we've got to have good, strong hips and good, strong ankles. Ankles and hips stabilize that knee from going too much side to side. The 3 exercises I just want to give you a brief preview of: bubbling springs. I don't know why my scarf fell down. It was cold this morning, so I had my scarf on. Bubbling springs, we stand with our feet together and raise up on our toes and drop down. Raise up on our toes and drop down. Kidney 1 is on the bottom of our feet, the first point on the kidney channel. It's a very important energy gate. Up, down, up, hold yourself up, drop down. So we'll be practicing a little bit of bubbling springs. Also, feet shoulder width apart, hands on the hips. I like to do hip circles. Hip circles are not only fun, but they're very important to keep our hips strong enough to stabilize, reverse direction, stabilize our knees. So doing hip circles on a daily basis when you get up, stretch in the morning after you've had your cup of coffee, during the day, hip circles, and then another movement that we always usually close out Qigong flows with is called bamboo sways in the wind. I put my feet together, arms by my side, and just gently keeping your balance so you don't fall, don't want to fall, gently sway back and forth. Very gentle exercise, but very effective at strengthening your ankles, which will help stabilize your knees. So we'll talk about knee pain a little bit further and how to um, work on managing chronic knee pain and how to hopefully heal any kind of pain through a variety of modalities. So that's it for the day, survivors. Thank you so much for dropping in and work on those shoulders this week. Do the spinal cord breathing, rooster spreads its wings, move your chi, try envisioning you're down here at the beach with me, moon and sun over the horizon of the ocean. Work on that punching with focused eyes. And as always, shout out to Aortic Hope TV for all they do. And may you, survivors, be blessed and filled with chi.